So, update time. So, today, my update is about the terrible shit I've been going through with fish keeping. And it's mainly in this tank. So, oh, parasnail. Alright, so, ever since, basically, I don't know, it's like a few days after I got all of the little mystery snails, um, so Plop here, he was over there, and you could actually see him on a certain video. He was over there resting. And essentially, he was resting there for like 3 days in a row. After 3 days, I got concerned. I picked him up and I gave him the sniff test, and he stank. Or no, wait, no, sorry. I kind of separated him because I didn't sniff test him yet. I just put him in a different area, and he still didn't move. So I got really worried. Oh, look at that. I got really worried, and I kind of put him in a little, it wasn't a quarantine tank, it was a breeder box, because I wanted him to specifically eat food. And so I put in some veggies, some frozen veggies. I gave him a lot of that, and oh, look at him. He's coming out. Oh no, oh, you know what, that works. He might still come out. And so basically, I put him in there. I put the veggies in because I wanted to target feed him a bit, but he wouldn't really come out. And essentially, when I got those veggies in there, I waited till the next day. I slept and everything. Next day, I gave him a sniff test, and he stank. He smelled like a dead snail. And I know this because Butters recently passed, and I know what the sniff test is like now. It's very bad smell. It smells like dead, and he smelled like dead. So I was on the verge of tears, and I couldn't believe I'd lost him. But then I put him in the tank again, and I see his trapdoor move. Oh, I see his trapdoor move, and yeah, I couldn't believe it. He was still alive. So I watched him. I put a veggie in again, and I watched him. I was watching him for days, 2 days in a row. I was watching him, and he came out a little bit. He was sticking his little antenna out, and eventually, I saw him on the side of the breeder box. He was all the way at the top, and he was sideways on the wall, and I was really happy. And before that, I found out the cause of the smell. So I fed him veggies that day I put him in the quarantine tank. I gave him veggies, and when I did that, he basically took it and he brought it into his shell, and he was eating that. However, it eventually rotted in there, so it started making a smell. One day, I saw him, like the day after, he pushed out that piece of veggie out of him, and I was so worried. I thought it was like an organ. I thought he was like legitimately had something wrong with him, and he just pushed it out, and I gave him a sniff test. He didn't smell anymore. He smelled A-okay. Even now, I gave him a sniff test today again, just to make sure he was okay, because he wasn't moving for a day again. And he essentially was fine. He's just fine. And I put him back into the tank, and I waited. I was watching him. And then he came out of his shell, and I was so happy. I was really happy he came out. He was moving. But I noticed something was wrong. He didn't have his other antenna, and he didn't have his other eye. Now, at first, I was so scared. There was actually something wrong with him. I was terrified. I didn't know. I didn't know if he could recover from this. And my theory is that because this little girl here, she has never hurt any snail in this tank. Never. She has literally looked at Plop and has stared. They both looked at each other, and I don't mean like stare as in like menacing stare. She like glanced at him, but she knows his presence, and she never attacks him. She's never attacked any of the pest snails. She's never attacked anyone. So she hasn't attacked little Solanum here and the other three. So, what I think happened is when I rescaped this tank, moved all of that driftwood out of here, I think maybe, this is just a theory, and I feel really bad about it, I think maybe something miffed him. Maybe something nicked him and caused his antenna to go in his eye, because she wouldn't be able to get both his antenna and eye. That would cause her to, like, have to, like, nab, but basically put that whole antenna in her mouth and completely yank it out, because his entire left antenna is gone. So, and his left eye is gone. So how would that make sense? So, I genuinely think that he got injured when I was rescaping the tank, and from now on I'm going to have to make sure to gather all the mystery snails and make sure that they are a-okay. And, yeah, I'm going to have to make sure every time I rescape that he's just completely fine. Alright, I'm going to try hand feeding him now because he seems to be coming out. So I'm going to stop the video right now. Instead of hand feeding him because I didn't want to scare him. Because he kind of flinched when I got my hand near him, so I don't want to do that. I just put another wafer in to entice him even more to come out and eat. Because I feel like he hasn't eaten in like a day or two. And this is because he's been in there and resting. This is because mystery snails can essentially, and I looked this up and I was so relieved, they can regenerate their antennas, they can regenerate everything. They can regenerate chunks of their bodies, they can regenerate their eyes, they can regenerate everything. Even most of the time their shells. It's awesome, these guys. So, and I think he's just been in here basically regenerating all of that. But I've been worried sick. I've still been watching every day. Like, all the time. I'm watching. And he hasn't moved much. But today, it seems like that changed. Because I've enticed him with some food. I've already been enticing him and trying to entice him, but he wouldn't come out. Today's different. He seems to be coming out. Now, this is also to mention, Plop, he is 1.5 years old, and life expectancy for mystery snails is 2 to 3 years. I still think I have a lot of time with him. I still think I have a year left with him. So, I genuinely don't think that this is an old age thing. He got injured somehow. I don't think it was from Splitty, because she's lived with him for 1.5 years. Nothing has changed. And, yeah, there's just nothing wrong. And it was my fault. It was entirely my fault. Because I messed up. I should have known to figure out where all the mystery snails are. And I feel terrible. And I'm going to have to make sure that he's in a spot where he can't be hurt from now on. But, yeah, that's how these two, it's been like 1.5 weeks of this. And to add on to that stress, little Splitty here 2 days ago got a little wound on her lip. Now, it looked a lot worse than before, but you can see her face looks a tiny bit bumpy. You see that little red bit? I'm sorry. See that little red bit, and you see that bump on her, like, right on her side's right cheek area. She nicked herself on something again, and yeah, it was pretty bad for a day. I gave him some Canaplex mixed foods, or her some Canaplex mixed foods, which I use with this. I just been feeding her that every day, mixed with Canaplex, and I make sure to kind of liquefy it a bit with Canaplex, and she's healing. She's a lot better. It used to look pretty terrible 2 days ago. Not terrible, but pretty messed up. But she's healing. She's healed again. I don't know what keeps causing her to get these friggin' lip wounds. It was one time during Christmas, and then now. So, yeah. Don't know what's going on with you, but she's okay now. She's acting like her usual self. But yeah, that just adds on to the stress of this freaking these past weeks, man. But Plop seems to be doing better. Seems to be trying to come out. She's good. I'm worried that maybe he's asking for help. Maybe he wants me to hand feed him. I'm trying my hardest not to interfere that much. because I'm genuinely worried about him, and I want to like do so many things. Like I want to get the snail off of him. I want to get him in certain areas where he won't be sideways and all. But I know that's just gonna stress him out more, because my hand is gonna come near him and he's gonna flinch back into his shell like he usually does when my hand goes near him, which is not a good sign, because usually I used to hand feed him and he was fine with it. I think I'm gonna try hand feeding him again. I don't know. I don't know. It's been rough. It's been very, very rough. But as you can see, we've had a shrimp explosion in this tank. There's shrimp everywhere. Everywhere you see some wild-looking shrimp. Yeah, that's at least a fun part of what's been going on. But yeah, that's pretty much the update, I guess. Update of today. She's been doing great. She's still acting like normal self. I'll probably give her some more Canoplex pellets. I don't want to add it directly into the tank, because I don't want to mess up the mystery snails, so I'm just giving her food. I don't have a place to put the mystery snails, other than like a little container, but I want to make sure that they have a heater and everything. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much all I'd say. Seems like Plop's getting a bit better. We have 2 antennas again? I hope. It looks like he's eating something. Maybe he found something in his shell to eat. I'm unsure. I'm very, very saddened that he's feeling this way and that he's hurt. And I'm trying my absolute best. But, speaking of trying my absolute best, look at what some of the mystery snails rewarded me with again. And I'm pretty sure that these are Marl's eggs, because Marl here, I see, is always getting mounted by Solanum. So the one I thought was a boy, and the one I thought was a girl, is actually, that's the boy, and that's the girl. Because they've been breeding, these two. Pie's been just chilling. I don't know where he is right now. But, yeah. They've been up to their little antics. They've been very, very healthy. I've tested water parameters as well. That's not the issue, because this water is clean. Clean as a whistle. But, yeah. Oh, Plop. I've had this guy since he was just a little baby. Raised him from some pretty crap conditions. And made many, many mistakes, and he's always pulled through. Well, I made 2 mistakes back when he was a baby. I was thinking there was like an issue with his shell, which there absolutely wasn't. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna watch him for a while. And I'm gonna stop talking. Maybe that'll calm him down. You guys seem to be gathering little pest snails. Yeah. I might flip him in an area where he can get the algae wafer, but we'll see. Alright.